Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Oregon is the next game. As strange as it sounds, this appeared to have a theme that I thought I would like. I like the Old West. I like the idea of going across a trail. It's a game that I kind of kept on my shelf for a long time. Not because I didn't think I'd like it, but because I thought I would like it. And every once in a while, I like to pull out a game with a good surprise. You know, something I've been looking forward to. And this is one of those games. I do want to point out the toothless boy on the front. I love that he's missing 2 or 3 teeth in the front. I don't know why. It just cracks me up. But Oregon claims to be the way the West was won. Well, maybe 10 years ago I would have liked this game more than I do now. What you get, and what you're going to get is an abstract game where the theme is pasted on and you're just trying to score victory points. And how do I score these victory points? Well, you're going to be putting meeples out on the board. When they're next to a building, they're going to score a certain way. Well, I kind of like that in Carson City, similar theme. There's so much reliance on what cards you draw, and you have to use the cards you have. And sometimes you're helping somebody else score. Sometimes you're just throwing a building somewhere because you kind of want to do this and you're hoping to get that. I mean, this seems to be a lot of randomness in it versus skill. And that card draw is the main mechanic. It's the main thing pushing the game forward. I was able to utilize in my games that second action that you have fairly well, and I did very well in the game. It's a game that I feel like my skill may give me a few more points, but if you had 5 average players or 5 good players, it's just a crapshoot. I'm not sure there's much to it. I mean, you get beautiful components, a solid rulebook, wood. Everything looks good. This is a little bit of an older game in my mind, but it's not going to stand up for me. It's just not going to have enough there. It's kind of bland, kind of boring. Once again, 10 years ago, this might have been great, but I didn't play it 10 years ago. I played it recently, and it just doesn't have enough there. There's so many other games that I would rather play that this one is going to be an ultimate purge for me. It just, it has things that I would like. Nice components, the artwork, the theme. But the gameplay is just a spreadsheet. That's, at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's a spreadsheet, and you're playing cards to find out where on that spreadsheet you can place things. And you're very limited in your decisions. I have 4 cards that, there's not a whole lot of variation that I can do here. Plus, based on the board, I don't want to help somebody else. You're not even setting up future moves. You just don't want to help somebody else, and you want to score some points each turn if possible. And it's not interesting. It's super, super light and super random in my opinion. So it's going to be a purge. Now, I don't think that there's anything. I mean, it's so funny because the package is solid. Maybe that's what I'm going for. Is just solid. But I like the use of the jokers. I like the use of the extra turn when you can manipulate that, the buildings. But who's going to score the most points? The person that gets the best random allotment of the cards, I think. I think that's all it's going to come down to. So, Oregon's going to be a miss. Boring. Just not there. Maybe outdated. Maybe games that passed it by. You get a little bit large box. It's the skinny Rio Grande ones. My favorite is this guy, the Toothless Kid. You You'll see him a couple times. You got a rule book that folds out. Not too shabby. This guy is wonderful. Love this kid. They liked him a lot too. They put him in 2 spots. You get a very colorful spreadsheet or board. You can see the spreadsheet lines on it both ways. You can see they go out of their way to try to make this as colorful and thematic as possible. I mean, these railroads, everything, they serve a purpose, but I mean, it's really a beautiful board for what is a very abstract game. So you have your icons across here. Inside the box, you get a lot of free oxygen. So if you need some oxygen, you have a lot of places here. So let me show you what some of the other components look like. So you're going to have these little small Rio Grande-esque cards. Very small for the hands. They will all be shuffled together. They all have the same back, which is of a old pioneer town. And you'll see some buildings and stores, things of that nature. Then you'll see the icons across the board. You can kind of see the bird up there. Very abstract. So each icon's across the top and across here. And then you'll have some meeples in different colors. You can see that these are pioneer meeples. You can tell by their hat. Very cool looking. And that was probably something, I don't know, probably when this game came out, that was very unique. Now every Kickstarter has that. And you'll see the buildings on here that will match the cards with the victory points. This one gives you a little action. You get the Joker again. This one allows you to pull out a gold chit, which looks like this. And when you flip it, it has victory points, but you don't have to show everybody else what you got. There's different numbers on those. You have a coal, which does the same thing. Coal and gold. Gold's worth just a little bit more, but there's a range, so you don't always get the same amount. And then just to show you one more, you can see the nice little artwork on it. And when you have the board filled up, it does look nice. It does look nice when you're done. It does look like a little city, I guess, although it's sporadic. And you have these people on here. But the components are really good. The artwork is nice. It's very colorful. So if you're going to do an abstract, this is kind of the way to do it. The rules are pretty solid. You get a normal size rule book. The Toothless Boy is back on the back of it. They must have liked him as much as I did. The game is fairly simple to understand. The rules do kind of fold out. So you're getting 6 pages, 3 front and back. One of the problems I had with the rules that I wasn't 100% sure about. Well, let me say this first. For one thing, the rules are pretty simple. Now, how you're scoring everything, I guess they're on the cards, but it took us a little while to understand when you score for just you or you score for everybody there and how that kind of worked. They all kind of work differently. So that was a little bit... That just took some getting used to. It's not an overly complicated scoring, but it did take a little bit to get used to that, if you will. Otherwise, the rule book was fine. I don't think we had any rules issues in our plays of this. I just feel like it may have been a little too streamlined and it's a little bit too random for us. Okay, what you have here for Oregon is a board. You have a score track around it. You're going to have icons up the side here, and you'll have the same icons across the top. So what you're going to do is you're going to play cards from your hand. And let me show you the easiest way to do. If you had 2 birds, just to illustrate here, the cards wouldn't go here. But, so this square right here, this rectangle, is where you could build something. So you would have to put one of your meeples somewhere in this area. The only place you're restricted from putting them would be inside the water. Otherwise, they can go anywhere in any of these spaces. So I'll just put it there. These actually would not go on the board. I was just using that to showcase. So that's one thing you can do. Let's say you wanted to build the store. So you would play a landscape card, one of the icons. I put people and a store card. Okay, can you see that?
Okay. So then you grab the store chit or tile, and you would place this either in this block where the people are at, or you can go over to the side and you can place it over here. So it's really up to you. You can place it however you see fit. Let's see, I place it up here. So placing the buildings out on the board is one way you're going to score points. So I could have placed it wherever I wanted to, but this has to go on a gray. Now, if you were to place a coal, same way, you would have a card that has this on it. The coal, because see how it's rocky, it can only go on a mountain. So if I had played the people and a coal, I could have placed it here on the rocks because it's on here. I could have placed it here, or way over there, or here, 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 here. So let's just say I put it there, and previously, let's say I'd place this guy here. I would get a coal chip for that. Now, if I was to place this here, I'd play my cards and place that, I would get 3 victory points. Okay? Because I have one guy there. So the way the scoring works, it's a little confusing at first, but if you're placing a building, you will earn the number of points listed on here. Now, a lot of tiles do something different. This one right here will give you 4 victory points. This one will give you 1 to 8, depending on how many people or all the way around it, orthogonal and diagonal. This one is train station, gives you 1. It gives you an action, which I'm going to explain in a second, but it can only be placed on a railroad. Okay? So if I place it there, I would get 1 point, and then I would get to take the action on it. If you were to place, so that's how the people work. So you get the points listed. Now, if you're placing the buildings, you get the points for each farmer that you have around it. So let's say I had something like this, and I place this down, I would get 3 victory points. Okay? So when you place the buildings, you're going to get points for everybody around it, which can be huge. If you're placing the people, then I would get 3. If I was placing this guy, he was not there. 3, 1, and a coal. So there's a little bit of strategy in what they're going to place. Where some other strategy comes into the game are these 2 tiles. Now the first one is the Joker. And this allows you to play any landscape you want across the top and down the side. And then you flip this over and it's X'd out. And you only get that back if you activate the store. See the little thing there? And then you have this other tile that allows you to take 2 turns. So you get to play 2 sets of cards instead of 1. And you flip it over when you used it. And the only way you get that back is by activating the train station. So for the most part, you're going to be playing these cards, either 2 landscapes or a landscape and a building, and you'll always have 4 cards in your hand and be placing these out, hoping to score. Now you can only place where your cards have, so there's a little bit of luck into where you'll be able to place. It can be hard to do forward thinking because the next person could just steal the great thing you built. So if they have the right cards, so there's a lot of drawing the right card is where you're going to be. So that may interest you and may not.
Who should buy this game? You'd really have to be into this kind of Rio Grande, Hans and Gluck kind of productions they have. They're aged a little bit, maybe. You're going to want some randomness in your games, and you're going to like just kind of the abstract feel of the spreadsheet. The theme is going to pull you in just a tad like it did me if you're into the theme. Otherwise, I mean, this is going to be something I'm going to definitely say try before you buy it. Don't jump into this game unless it's extremely cheap and you just want to take a flyer on it. Not enough there for me. But if you're into this sort of thing, and I usually am, this might be something you want to try. It might just be a matter of personal taste. But Oregon's going to be a miss for me, and I will be purging this one.